Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 1 of, well, we haven't quite made the name yet, but it's a podcast with my mom and I, where it's like the podcast with my dad and I, except it's my mom and I. And so we'll just be talking about a lot of fun things that have happened in our lives together, the 11 years and 10-ish months, I believe. So if you go to enjoy, subscribe, like, and turn on post notifications. She is right here, but she does not really want to be on camera for the podcast, just audio, which is okay, but she's right. You can probably see her hand. Oh, yeah, there's her hand. She's right there. So, without any further ado, let's get into it.
Hey, what if we don't know what to call this podcast?
We don't know what to call this podcast. That's actually not a bad idea.
It's kind of a cool name. We don't know what to call this podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 1 and the premiere of We don't know what to call this podcast. Enjoy. Okay, now that I used the bathroom and Barney is now eating currently, going at it, we're ready to do the podcast. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. Mom, you want to start us off?
Well, yeah, like that. I've never done a podcast before. I've never been a guest star on a podcast before. I've seen you do many YouTube posts, and I've seen you and Jackson doing this and that.
I think it's called Couch Talk.
Oh, Couch Talk. I thought it was called This and That. Also, another good title, maybe for future use. This and That.
Yeah, maybe.
But why don't you tell everybody where we just came from?
Well, we just came from the dentist. I went there because I've been having some tooth pain, and I thought maybe I have a cavity, but it's for a bit of a dumb reason. I thought maybe since I had a lemonade bottle, which is a bit citrusy, a little acidic, that it may be that may have caused a cavity. But lucky me, no. And I went there and they just said I'm getting my 12-year-old molars growing in. I have a lot of teeth falling out and a lot of teeth coming in. So that's really the only, not even a problem. That's really what's happening. So that's really good. And we came back from the dentist. We were watching a little bit of TV. And now we're doing the podcast. So, yeah.
Just a little bit of growing pains, the dentist said.
Yeah, just a little bit of growing pains, which is really good. I'm happy that it's definitely not a cavity, but still, nonetheless, nonetheless, I'm still gonna try to limit my use of, chocolate intake, and like acidic drinks, a lot of sugar. Because even though I can't have candy, I can have chocolate, and that I think chocolate has more sugar than candy.
I think other types of candy might have more sugar.
Some candy, but I actually was telling a person, I almost said his name. He did not want his name to be on here. As you guys know, I'm in a pod, and the person that's our leader there, it's like a teacher. He I was like, oh, I think it was because like our friend was having some candy, and I was like, chocolate must be much healthier than candy, right? It's it's like from like cacao plant, and it's like natural. Searched it up. Nope. It's very surprising, actually.
Really? Well,
yeah.
Dark chocolate is healthier as long as you don't eat the whole bar.
Probably, yeah. But like a Hershey bar, worse than like Dots.
Really?
Yeah, I know. I was like 100% sure I was right, and I was like, Isaac, all right, let's search it up.
You just said his name.
Did?
But you didn't say his last name.
Yeah.
So I think it's okay.
It's not like anyone. It's not like showing your face, right?
If he said he doesn't want to be named, then just
make
sure you don't say his last name.
You want to know what I'll do? I'll post this tomorrow maybe instead of today, and I can ask him in the morning. Dude, can I post this? And if he says no, sad life, or recreate it, and he'll say yes. But just to make sure, should I ask him? No, I'll post it today. I want to post it today, and I'll just text him. Bam, we're done with it.
And you never mentioned his last name, so I think there's a lot of people that go by the same name, and there'd be no way to know.
Yep.
I think it'll be fine.
His name is Isaac. You're not going to know.
Okay.
Anywho, so there's Barney. This is our quarantine pup, and speaking of quarantine, we have a lot of things, not really planned yet, but a lot of things we want to do. A lot of things we want to do after quarantine. What are some things you want to do when we can get out of this quarantine?
Well, God, I wouldn't even know where to start. We have been, you can tell people, we have been taking it very seriously.
Yes,
We have
definitely. We're
done
safe.
No outdoor dining at all. 0. We have done some pickup, some delivery.
We've been door dashing a lot lately.
Yeah, a lot of deliveries.
Mom's gonna make sloppy Joe. So
Tonight I'm going to make my healthy sloppy Joe.
maybe you could give me the recipe. I can put in the description for people that want to try it.
It's just ground chicken breast or ground sirloin or whatever protein you like. I try to do it with ground white meat chicken because it's healthier. And then you stir fry it in a pan. In like a saute pan. And then when it's all cooked through, but not totally cooked, you add a can of vegetarian baked beans. Get that all mixed in, get the juices flowing. And then depending on how healthy you want to make it, what I like to do is add plain yellow mustard and hot sauce. If you want to make it a little more kid-friendly and not quite as healthy, you can add barbecue sauce and or ketchup.
There it is.
And if you also like, which I do, and if you don't like it in yours, Sam, you can either pull them out or I will make I'll try to make some without chopped peppers at the end.
That could be good, yeah. So there's what it is. I'll probably end up watching this recording over and putting the recipe in the description of this video. But yes, thank you for that. Yes, I bet it'll be really good.
It's one of my few specialties. That and what else do you think I'm good at? Because I don't cook that much. Eggs, good scrambled eggs.
Her eggs are all really good, and I've been having some healthy breakfast lately. I've been having a cut up banana with 2 pieces of toast, jelly on one, butter on the other, and maybe one of these days I'll have that alongside maybe 1 or 2 eggs and a sausage or 2. So definitely gonna be having some healthy breakfasts. And I guess having a toasted strudel once in a while is all right. Waffles are all right, and a Jimmy Dean breakfast sandwich is pretty good. I guess like the croissant maybe isn't amazing since it's bread, but the cheese, the sausage, and the egg, pretty good.
And it's important to get some good protein in you before you start your day.
And I actually, speaking of which, I don't think I had lunch today, actually.
What happened to the ham sandwich I made?
I literally ate it at like 10 in the morning, and then I had like a bag of chips and some cookies for lunch.
So you must be starving. I should make Sloppy Joe early.
Nope. And I'm a little hungry. You may have actually seen me as a little weird. I was like walking to the pantry like... And I walked my way out because I'm a little hungry, but I'm like, I need something to eat. And it's 4:45, so we'll probably eat within like an hour or maybe hour and a half. I want to wait, and I guarantee if I wait, I'll eat more and more. Because I'm gonna come out and say it. I'm not a big waster, but I've wasted my waste of food, my amount of food. So I'm definitely gonna restrain myself.
You always like to snack within the hour before a meal, which ruins the meal.
Which is why I'm not going to.
So
yeah.
In a half an hour, I will start making the meal, and by then you'll be hungry and ready to go.
True.
So I have a question for you.
Yep.
On our podcast.
Sure.
What types of things are you looking the most for? Because besides the pod, we've done next to nothing. We have not taken any trips. We haven't rented an Airbnb. We went to the beach once last summer, remember? Because all the Chicago beaches were closed.
And distance at that.
And everything at a distance. We've barely seen your 2 aunts who live in Chicago.
Well, we saw them for my birthday in like July, but...
We did have a fun birthday party in Auntie Dana's backyard because she has a huge backyard, so we were able to make distance.
And I'm turning 12 soon, guys, so wish me a good birthday. I'll make a birthday video.
What are you looking forward to doing for your birthday and after Dad and I have our vaccines and things get more back to normal?
Well, some things I'm looking forward to is one, especially my bowling league. I loved doing that. I was in a bowling league with some kids, and I really enjoyed it. It was every Saturday, I believe, from 10 a.m. to 12 or something like that, and it was super fun. My dad took me every single Saturday, and I would always get mozzarella sticks with an apple juice and then an ice cream after, and it was my trademark, literally. I went up to the guy and said, usual. I didn't have to even tell him, I don't think.
Didn't he sometimes give you the ice cream for free?
Yep. And that's,
just like your guy at Subway.
At Subway. I'm going to give you a shout out. Ram. he works at Subway, and he gives me a free cookie almost next to every time, and it's really nice. He calls me boss, makes me feel good, and he's a cool guy. So yeah, so definitely I'm looking forward to the bowling league again. Definitely having probably more sleepovers with other people and Jackson. Probably by the late April at the latest, like April, around mid-May at the latest. But according to my mom, she may be getting a vaccine at some certain date, and then so at some other certain date, which is towards the end of April.
We're hoping for beginning of May for me and Dad to have our vaccines.
Beginning of May. So hopefully by end of April to mid-May, Jackson will come over for a sleepover, and that'll be really fun. We'll make a lot of podcasts, a lot of more 1 a.m. podcasts. We made one at 1 in the morning that you actually will. It's deep. It's a little depressing. It's like we talk about death and everything. So I don't know, but yeah, definitely those two things, and what else?
Oh, I bet I know
Road
what you're
trips.
missing.
Road trips.
And
Swimming?
swimming.
Yes, I definitely want to go to the local pool and swim. And
Go
yeah,
see Nana and Papa.
go to see Nana and Papa, my grandparents. Let me pause real quick. I just said pause to ask them. So hopefully they may be coming here either in the summer, or I may have heard, Mom correct me if I'm incorrect, but didn't they say maybe
Possibly by your birthday.
April, May? Yeah. So they can get vaccinated double.
Well, they are vaccinated double.
And then if you get vaccinated double, but then don't, Auntie Dana and all the other people.
Both your aunts and uncle are also in the process. They will hopefully also by May be double vaccinated too. So it's just the kids. So we still have to think about you and your cousins.
Yes, we do, but I think as long as we stay 6 feet apart, I think it's fine, because if you think about it, I'm not saying this takes away from anything, but, kids are at a lower risk, and if they do get it, it's not as bad. But I'm not saying anything as
there's no risk.
Yeah. But I think as long as we stay 6 feet and outside and our masks off, I think it's fine. But don't worry, guys. We have been extremely careful. Jackson isn't even coming over unless he's fully masked, and I don't really want to do that. So we'll probably end up just going on bike rides outside probably this weekend, alongside doing episode 6 of the podcast. I think it would be 7, but the other one. You guys
can take a bike ride, and
the other one
when you
didn't
stop and park your bikes, if you stop at Clark Park at McDonald's. And as long as you're sitting
and take my backpack and my computer with me.
Not to do the podcast part, but to do the bike riding part.
Yeah.
And then you get food, like you did with Connor last summer, and then you sit in the park away from each other to eat.
Yeah, man. I wonder if he's good at the bumps. I don't know. I guess what is that?
You could introduce him to that, or you could just do a scenic bike ride.
Yeah, and speaking of scenic, we have a Peloton, which is really nice, and I've kind of been inspired to, before dinner, go out on the Peloton for 10 or 20 minutes, work up an appetite, and by 6, I'll eat. You can do instructor workouts, which my mom usually every day does, except I think once she does scenic run, and I always do scenic. I'm not really an instructed kind of guy. I just like going on a 10 or 20 minute scenic run whenever I want. So,
let me ask you this: does the scenic run make you a little dizzy? Because I never get dizzy from stuff like that, or riding in a car.
I don't get dizzy either. No.
But it does make me dizzy.
Huh, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't really get dizzy. I mean, if I get I'm reading a book when I'm driving, I'm not even kidding. My stomach's
right. I don't get that, but I do get dizzy on the scenic run on the Peloton.
Maybe because you're running and all your bowels, all your organs are sloshing around. Maybe.
I hope my bowels are not sloshing around.
Yeah, oops. And Bonnie's being filmed without his consent. I think we can't post it.
He doesn't have a right to give consent.
Well,
I give consent for him.
Look at this. Okay, Bonnie, stay there. Don't move. Ah, he moved. Okay, short story short, he had his pink toy. It's like a Kong. It's indestructible, but that's probably a lie. I bet he'll destruct it. Which you can it was on his black nose. It was my boy Barnold. Cute stuff. I'm gonna definitely send this to the family. If you guys didn't know, my video has like almost 40 views. That's like 34. Reason being, it's not all randos. I sent it to my 7 family members. My dad, my mom, my 2 grandparents, my aunt, my other aunt, and my uncle, and that makes 7. And I think they all viewed it, so probably 34 minus 7 last time I checked is. Sorry, oops. 27 random people watched it. I guess make it 26 because I watched them. So, pretty cool. And I'll probably send this podcast, not when I upload it later, and at about 7 or something. I'll send it to the whole fam, and we'll see what they think.
So, let me ask you this.
Yep.
Probably your listeners will want to know.
Mm-hmm.
So, the very first time that we feel comfortable, maybe let's say by the end of the summer, like before you go back to 7th grade.
Which
is crazy.
Do you mind if I attribute to what you said?
Well, let me finish my question, and then you can
Sure.
jump right in there. If you could pick one place, not, Asia or Europe or anything, but somewhere where we would have to fly, but within the United States or close.
Yeah.
Where do you think, what vacation would you want to take with me, you, and Dad?
In the U.S.?
In or around or close to the U.S.?
Hollywood, maybe.
Hollywood, California?
Yeah.
For what?
To see, like, the Hollywood. I don't know. Well, maybe I should think about this one. I mean, I would honestly...
See, I thought you were going to go straight for the Disney cruise.
Oh.
Because you loved that.
Yes, Disney cruise. Now, it's not like if I'm not... I was going to say something, but if any little kids are listening, never mind. The Disney cruises are fun. They're fun as heck. We had this one waitress, if I remember her name, I think I'm just going to have to take a little rest, because that'll be just amazing. We went on this Disney cruise, and you always have a waiter that follows you wherever you go to, like, dinner, and the dinner's top tier. And we had a waitress that followed us everywhere, for dinner and breakfast and lunch, or that was like a buffet or something. But I can't remember her name, but she was great. It started with an R. I'll say that. I'll say that much. I'll say that much. I remember it started with an R, and it was really fun. My cousin went on it with us once, and that was so fun. My cousin Joss. We literally have a video of her. It was like 8 or 9, and for her, it was, or not even 8 or 9. I go to bed at like 8 or 9. Heck, 8:30 now. We shook on it. Thug life, 8:30, and it was like probably 7 or 8, and 8 for what was she, like 4 probably then?
I think 2.5 or 3.
So she was a 2.5 or 3 maybe. So 2.5 to 4, let's say. Anywhere in
she's
that.
4 now, so she was 2.
Oh, she was 2. She was 2 years old. So she was 2, and it was like 7 or 8, which for a 2-year-old is late. 2-year-olds go to bed at 8 or probably 7, maybe earlier. When I was 2, I probably went to bed at like 4 in the afternoon.
No, you went to bed at 6:30.
6:30. So 6:30 to 8. Okay, let's say that range. She was eating this ginormous thing of chocolate ice cream. It was all over her. She was in her party dress. Like Goofy was probably there, and she was like.
She was in her princess dress on.
Yeah,
on
the princess dress.
Cruise.
Yep. So this is the great thing about a podcast. It can bring back nostalgia, like in a second. Yeah, I remember that.
And tell your viewers what happened to her, Joss. Do you remember? After she ate all the ice cream.
Oh my gosh.
Chocolate?
She was eating all the ice cream, and she was like, and then after, literally like a bite, she was like, she fell asleep right after that sugar crush, that sugar,
in the high chair.
She was like,
pictures.
And that was great. It was funny.
Yeah, you and your cousins love that Disney cruise.
And also, not
and tell them about Castaway Cay, which is the best part of it.
Oh, yeah. It's when you get to go to the Bahamas. The Bahamas itself. Not some, rip-off Bahamas. The Bahamas. And we went there on,
What's a rip-off Bahamas? All Bahamas is good Bahamas.
Like some beach called Bahamas, and it's, not really a beach. I don't know.
Okay.
Sorry, I was trying to make a play on words. I failed. Anyway, so the Bahamas are really fun because it's it's crazy. All the water, the sand, the water is very clear. One bad thing. Salt. I hate salt. I'm call me a wuss. Call me, sure. But I do not like salt.
You don't like swimming in salt.
If I have goggles, no. And there's like this like parkour place hovering over the water. So if you fall, you get eaten by sharks. Pretty sad things. And
you don't get eaten by sharks.
I don't know. I saw this one kid. He was like going, and he was like no, and he fell, and then he was like got chopped up. Probably the bottom of the sea now, but beware, kids, beware. Anywho,
that is not true. You're going to scare some of your listeners from going on a Disney cruise. They're going to be afraid to go to Castaway Cay. And next time we go on the Disney cruise, who's going to do the Castaway Cay 5K with me?
Me!
You're old enough. Remember, you had to be 10
to
run.
I don't think I was 9, right?
And that's that's the only place that you can get the actual Castaway Cay medal. You can't run another Disney race and get a Castaway Cay medal. You have to be on the Disney Castaway Cay Island to get the medal. And I've run it twice. And the next time, I so much want to run it with you.
How about we go? Can we go this summer, do you think?
Possibly. The summer is a really good time to go on a cruise because the prices are half of what they are in the winter.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, we have to make sure a cruise ship is probably one of the least safe places because it's tight quarters.
Well, I would think definitely next summer.
Summer of 2022 for sure.
That's like 100%. Because then obviously everyone will be vaccinated, including kids.
Yes, but that will also be right before your bar mitzvah. Bum, 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 bum.
Oh, my bar mitzvah.
Right? Which is going to be September 10th, 2022.
Ah, jeez.
So if you're ready for it and you're all prepared in the last week of August before as your bar mitzvah gift, me, you, and Dad, and maybe the rest of the family will all go on that 3 or 4 night
Can we go on a 1-week cruise or something like?
Dad and I will have to talk about that. We would do that, just the 3 of us, and we'll do that longer trip, maybe for your bar mitzvah present, if that's what you want.
Yeah. I mean, definitely that would be fun.
Going the last week of August is good because all the Florida kids are already back in school. And then we go to Miami. Remember? And go to that hotel.
Adelina! Oh, yes! God, nostalgia podcast moment.
Let's do that for your bar mitzvah.
There was this epic pool. It was it was this cool pool.
Two epic pools.
We have a video of me going like the breaststroke, and it was so fun. But that's when my dad like burned his foot. So
it seems like every trip we go on,
he burned his foot. Now his leg's broken. What's next? His head's just gonna go.
Wait, I forgot. How did he burn his foot?
Sand or something.
Was that also the place where he hurt his arm and his leg or something?
That was San Diego when he was sleeping.
That was in San Diego. He jumped up in the night into the dressing table.
I low-key think one of these days, it's sad, I'm not laughing here, he'll break his arm in his sleep. I'm not kidding.
I mean, he does trip a lot into things, so
don't expose him too much.
It's really good when he fell and broke his leg that he didn't break his head open.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying this would have been any better, but it actually would if he broke his arm or something, you know.
No, that would have actually been worse, even though it's a smaller bone. He needs his arms for typing and for work.
He can just do this, he
said that
he can just go like this.
He was happier that it was his leg and not his arm, but it would have been better if he broke none of those things.
Or if you're
or just did a dad and fell, but then got up
and bruised himself. That still kind of amazes me. Not even amazed, it's kind of weird. How do you break your bone on ice?
Because it's so
low to the ground.
I don't know.
I mean, even if you go
he doesn't know how it happened
this,
either.
And then you go like that. I mean,
I don't know. Because when I found him, his leg was sticking out straight. It wasn't underneath him. I don't know how. He must have just fallen so hard with all of his body weight.
My legs hurt.
Right on his leg.
It's okay, buddy. It's okay. It's like Barney. It's okay.
So the message is, when it's icy out, you have to watch where you're walking.
Yeah, stay safe, kids. I've luckily...
Don't look at your phone while you're walking.
I gotta knock on some wood. That I, myself, have never broken a bone. I think I almost sprained too low. I was doing a hoverboard on like September, October, and I fell off it and it hurt for days. It was almost a sprain, I think. And then when I was doing rock climbing, I almost sprained it when I fell off on the bouldering, and that was horrible. It was bad. I think I talked about this in actually episode 2 or 3 of the podcast Couch Talk. I think it was 2. I'm just gonna have to go out on a limb and say it here. I couldn't pee. It was honestly, it was hard. It was weird. I mean, and that was bad. Luckily, I didn't break anything there, but it wasn't fun.
Do you miss climbing?
I guess a little, but at the same time, it's not like I loved it. I think I did it for a good amount of time. Maybe I could have done it for an extra year or 2, but I think I've moved on from that, and I'll probably find something else to do. Like, I definitely want to pursue tennis, alongside, bowling and ping pong, but for, like, my main
What other
sport,
outdoor
tennis.
sport?
Tennis, biking,
Running.
Running, definitely. Well, maybe. We can reconvene off camera on that one. But, I don't know. I've been somewhat active, I guess, lately. I've been going on some walks with my mom, some bike rides, some Pelotoning, but, yeah, I mean, this has already been longer than the podcast Dad and I did.
Really? I'm just thinking about going on the Disney cruise.
Yeah, we are.
I can't imagine being on a ship, like, tight, packed in with people, though.
Well, I mean, Disney cruise is, like, probably the worst, like, worse than a hospital. I mean, because at least people there are wearing masks.
Yeah, being on a cruise ship, those cruise ships were, like, big centers for spread, so...
Lucky us, we didn't, like, go on a cruise for, like, as if spring break was early or something.
Well, if you remember, you weren't at the adult party, but the dinner that I had for Dad for his birthday, and me, and Dad went downtown to the hotel. That was on March 5th and 6th.
Yeah, that was, and
right,
then
the week
we
before
shut down
lockdown.
on the 14th. So if it was March 6th we went.
That was
9 days. That was 9 days before quarantine.
Right.
I mean, so that could have ended badly. Lucky us. And we had such a good view. We had like what's that place we saw?
Water Tower. We were right across from Water Tower.
And
we had the best view. They gave it to us special because it was Dad's 50th birthday.
That was great. I'm getting like not tired.
And the pool with the basketball hoop. You and Dad shot baskets.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was over a year ago.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it. I mean, I guess it does, like in the back of my mind, but.
Everybody says the same thing about quarantine. It seems like it was a week ago, but it also seems like it was like 5 years ago.
And I'm not trying to be like melodramatic and like generic, like, oh, it's so long ago. I'm literally saying, oh, hold up, wait a minute, somebody right.
It's like we lost a whole year.
We did.
Of being locked inside.
We lost like 1/80th of our lives. If you live to 80. I think the average death is 83, so we lost over 1/83rd of our lives.
Well, I mean, we still worked and went to school and ate. We just didn't do a lot of the things we've done.
Yeah, I'm lucky that I got to go to the pod and have like it's not like a person that just like went there, literally. It's not like some rando person that was like, an educator. It was a teacher who worked in Chicago Public Schools for years and now is there. And I searched him up. He came up as like an administrator.
No, he was a real teacher for many years, but when he switched over to do something else in life and then the pandemic happened, he happened to become available to be your pod leader, which was great for you four.
And it's a win-win. Money, get us, it's great.
Yeah, it's been great for him, it's been great for you guys. I mean, otherwise you would have been in your room.
Yeah. And I was, like, a lot of 5th grade.
Last year, yeah.
That was not very pleasurable. Like, it was fun. I think this is easier than 5th. A lot of people don't think so. But I think 5th, the work, harder, this year, easier. I mean, I'm just a little nervous when geometry comes up because that's going to be a bit of a whoopsie-daisy.
That you're going to need somebody else to help you with. Maybe Ayala and Josh in the back in the alley. They're both really good at math. And we could ask them for help, or you could ask your pod leader for help.
I could ask him as well. I'm getting not tired.
That's not my best topic. Anything else I can help you with?
No.
Geometry? No.
Nope.
Didn't like it the first time around? Not going to like it the second time around.
No, I mean she helped me out. Like it was like the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks of school, maybe the last week in June that they assigned geometry. I thought I was going to be out of that.
They threw geometry at
I
you
thought
in
I would
sixth
be
grade.
out of the gate and into 6th grade with no geometry. And then the last
We were counting cubes.
like the last week or two, we were there for 2 hours counting cubes. It's just so dumb. It's
not dumb. It's just not
hard.
doesn't come naturally for us.
It was hard, man. And I'm getting tired. Not like I have to go to bed, but like a little like drowsy from all this like nostalgia.
Well, it's hard. Whoa! Someone's at your door, Sam. Someone's at our door, I should say.
Whoa! Okay, guys, we're gonna pause the podcast.
Go to this.
Reason we paused. We had Ding Dong Ditch by some little kids. By little, I don't mean like 6 or 7. I mean little, like 3 to 5. And I could see them like fully running away. I was like, interesting. So it was a little weird, but I guess what are you gonna do, Steve? What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do, Steve? What are you gonna do?
If anyone knows that reference, we're not gonna say it. But if you know,
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. IY.
All right. Well, if you're gonna do a little 20-minute Peloton, why don't you go do that and let Mr. Broken Leg know that I'm gonna start cooking dinner in a few minutes. And I think
2 hours up on this.
I think that's a good first podcast. What I can't even remember. What's the name of our podcast? What is the name of this podcast?
We couldn't think of a name for this podcast or something. What was it? No.
What is the name of this podcast?
No,
wasn't that it?
No. We couldn't think of a name for this podcast.
I don't remember. We'll have to look at the beginning of the podcast.
Oh, yeah, great. It's on recording. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would... Oh, and by the way, Mom, if you're wondering, it's at 32 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to enjoy, make sure to subscribe, like, and turn on post notifications. This will probably be the podcast, maybe, on camera, but we'll have to see. So, without any further ado, that was the epic, wonderful, outstanding, amazing, astonishing, cool premiere of we don't know what to name this podcast or something like that. So, again, if you enjoyed, subscribe, like, and turn on post notifications. And today's March 22nd.
Yeah.
We'll see you all on March 29th for episode 2. Bye-bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Dun, 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 dun. Ow! All right. Bye, guys. Peace.